Hello, Brian from the channel Brian here to talk about the latest Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World Dominion. Hopefully the conclusion to the Jurassic World trilogy. The most bloated franchise reboot? Maybe? Or is it that Jurassic Park came out in 1993, revolutionized the blockbuster as we know it, and every sequel since has been a thematically offbeat caricature of the first one? Jurassic World was not the worst movie, but it was the worst kind of movie. A blockbuster smugly aware of its corporatism, suckling from the ample teat of the original's authenticity, and playing the cynical reworking of it for lulz. To me, that's screenwriter shorthand that you gave up and think general audiences dumb enough they'd pay to be played for suckers. Which they were. And Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was arguably the worst written blockbuster until the rise of Skywalker. Dominion never threatens to dethrone either of them, nor even runners-up like Batman v Superman or Transformers 5, but it is appropriately stupid and lazy to round out the Jurassic World trilogy, and isn't that all we could have hoped for? A rare moment of successful levity in Dominion was a poll shown in a news broadcast about what the United States population believed should be done about the dinosaurs, and a good 9% wanted to rebuild Jurassic Park again. I like the idea that dinosaurs are flying across city skylines and running cars off the road, and the general population is still thinking we can still make this work as a theme park. Because situationally, I kind of agree. Jurassic Park is only scary if it's by the premise that you deny resources that allow the characters to fight back. Otherwise, you're fighting giant lizards with sharper teeth but no less immunity to gunfire. I've no clue why dinosaurs being unleashed on the world would even be an issue when we have, like, the military. Compared to Alan Grant and company having to stave off T-Rexes and Velociraptors with road flares and kitschy jeeps, we've hunted many species to near extinction for sport. If this were the story of how humanity suffered at this new dinosaur outbreak and fought back, we could have had something here. At first I wondered, why not call this movie Jurassic World War? That title seemed handpicked for this franchise and scenario. But that's because, in a disastrously strange move, Jurassic World Dominion doesn't have much to do with dinosaurs. I'd say only about a third of it does. The chosen story is about a corporate dick genetically engineering giant locusts to undermine the agriculture industry and monopolize the global food supply. And sometimes there are dinosaurs. Which to me kinda sounds hypocritical on the filmmaker's part. Oh, he doesn't understand the delicate beauty of nature we ought to respect in this movie that treats dinosaurs like slasher villains or cutesy-wootsy plushies depending on what kind of emotional manipulation the scene wants to do. But I guess that isn't special. Every Jurassic Park film since 1993 has further reduced the survival-inclined yet morally ambivalent nature of the dinosaurs, that coincidentally being one of the primary things that lent the first film so much sophistication. The playful pseudoscience of the original has devolved into pure genetic buttfuckery as a plot device and nothing more. Dominion is unquestionably the worst in its Universal Studios-ification of the dinosaurs, as if they were just waiting for protagonist-shaped humans to show up and chase, and the second a camera's not on them, they're suddenly evaporated into the aether. Dominion also dramatically lacks character. Chris Pratt is Action Man once again, and although those surrounding him I'm pretty sure are meant to be different characters, they may as well be him in alternate outfits for all the difference it makes. There's a section towards the middle of the film right out of Uncharted, and I kept wondering what qualifies any of these superlative characters to be action heroes. Bryce Dallas Howard was in charge of a theme park, right? She's not exactly Lara Croft. Omar Sy returns, there's a pilot lady, the British clone girl. None of these characters are exactly memorable. The set pieces and structure are straight out of James Bond or Mission Impossible. Now, would I rather watch the action scenes from No Time to Die if they had velociraptors in them? Yes. The motorcycle chase in the middle of the film is missing investment, stakes, and good effects, but other than that is fine. If you want to be a generic action movie, Jurassic World Dominion, that's fine. It just seems out of place in a franchise that originated with Sam Neill looking at a brachiosaur like he was staring into the eyes of God. The other storyline is doing the now popular No Way Home thing and bringing back the entire living cast of the original film. Even the corporate dick behind the giant locusts is Dodgson from the first film, and to reaffirm Wayne Knight, yes, nobody cares. It frustrates me that this works, that nostalgia is an obsession with specifically the people who performed in an original film decades later and pretending nothing's changed because my childhood and nothing else, instead of the operative elements that made the movie work in the first place. I know it's possible to do this again. Might I remind you, the first Jurassic World came out within a month of Mad Max Fury Road. but instead the camera holds on the first shot of every returning character because you're supposed to explode into a clapping frenzy, which would be enough to erode any excitement I had for their return if I had any. In 30 more years, is it going to make every big remake coming out now better that character introductions are all followed by 5 seconds of silence for no reason? Especially in Jurassic Park's case, the Jurassic World movies are gonna age even worse because they all look like shit. In a franchise that revolutionized special effects, why do Dominion's dinosaurs look worse than the ones from 30 years ago? They're not just subpar in a vacuum, but even compared to the blockbusters of today, these effects don't hold up. With Dune and Batman, we have had all the evidence we need to properly assume these lazy, grifting filmmakers with every resource in the world available to them can make movies look good, and they just don't. Even just the visual clarity of the frame is somehow worse. It shouldn't take me a few minutes before I realize they're in the same clothes. The best thing you can say about Dominion is the story is at least straightforward and comprehensible. Action Man takes his posse toddling around the world until they find the third act. During this film, I did something I probably wasn't supposed to do. I tried to imagine what parts of this film the filmmakers imagined would produce the same sense of cinematic wonder as Spielberg's first Jurassic Park, and I came up empty. Characters will deliver the latest reworded monologue about the sanctity of nature, but they don't mean that. This franchise has reduced nature to the programmed responses of whoa for the big dinosaurs and aw for the small dinosaurs, all capped off with the laziest final clash in any Jurassic Park film, which in itself is a rushed, worse iteration of the final fight from Jurassic World. It really feels like they had no way to cap off this inexplicably 2.5 hour long film and wrote insert dinosaur fight here, deciding to let the underpaid effects team figure it out for themselves. It's been comical how little the Jurassic World trilogy understood what made the original film great, and insulting at how aware of that Universal pretends to be as they continue to make them. At this rate, a fourth installment might more closely resemble Theodore Rex than Jurassic Park, and then despite that, make $500 million in 2 weeks, guaranteeing another sequel. I'm giving Jurassic World Dominion a 3 out of 10. So hey, did you like this movie more than me? Less than me? Well, if you care to, please tell me. And as always, if you like not only words, but the way I arrange and then say them, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to me, Brian from the channel Brian. Thank you, and goodbye.